David, when you remind people about attendance and their name, uh, could you just have them type their name and address into the chat? It's probably easier for me to pick it up that way.
That makes sense. If they're just calling in, that's a little bit more difficult, right?
Right. So far, everybody's, I think, is on the video thing, so.
Maybe we could just start now. So I see Christopher and Marley. If you wouldn't mind using the chat to send your name and address to Adams Town of, that's Chairman Pete, and because he needs to take attendance.
Sure.
Thank you. Well, welcome. Hello, Joyce.
Hi, how are you this afternoon?
It's good. We know who you are. So, can everybody hear me okay? Just
Yes.
yeah. A little bit of drama last night with my tomatoes took a beating. And DJ, nice to see your face. We communicated it a lot.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. And so for those newcomers, if you wouldn't mind using the chat to give your name and address and send it to, you can do it privately to Adams Town of, so he can take attendance if we, as much as we can get out of the way before we start, would be great. Is that Jim? It is Jim.
Everybody.
Okay.
So you got your internet back up, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Hi, everyone.
hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
So we have a vendor with us. Good. My clock is coming up on 4 o'clock. And As soon as it pips over, I will call the meeting to order. There it is. It's 4 o'clock, August 5th. I am calling this meeting of the Board of Health to order. The first order on our agenda is review of minutes. We actually have a batch of 3 minutes. Laura and Pete have had a chance to look over. I have I don't know, I just have a couple comments on 2 of them. Can we just approve them en masse after we make the comments? So Pete, do you have any comments on the minutes?
No, I do not.
Laura?
Don't have any.
I noticed in the June 3rd meeting, I was characterized as vice chairman after you all voted me in as chairman. So that's on page 2, strike vice. And on the July 1st meeting, it looked like there were 6 extra pages. So I would recommend deleting pages 5 through 10. So do I have a motion to accept all 3 sets of minutes with those 2 changes?
So moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Pete Hoyt,
Aye.
Laura Grandchamp,
Aye.
Dave Rhodes, aye. The minutes are adopted as amended. Thank you. So at this point, I need to give a notice that this meeting is being recorded. I do see the recording up there, so thank you, Pete. And I need to read this waiver for remote, because none of us are at town hall, I believe. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Town of Adams Board of Health is being conducted by remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to assure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. Attending remotely are members Dr. Peter Hoyt, Dr. Laura Grandchamp, and myself, Dr. David Rhodes. We have posted today's agenda. Actually, we posted yesterday an amended agenda, which included the call-in information for today's meeting. Despite our best efforts, if we are not able to provide for real-time access for the public to participate in today's meeting, a recording of this meeting is being made and will be made available. We are participating remotely. Please note that all votes taken at the meeting are by roll call. I will state the board member's name and ask for their vote. And finally, we need to confirm the names and addresses of all those attending this meeting. And I believe if Garat and Charles may not, and may I ask who is 413-743-8390? Is that you, Mark?
That is me.
Thank you. And we have one more coming in, Lillian. All right, I've got another script here. So I will now open our public hearing on revising our tobacco sales regulations for the town of Adams. After we open the hearing, I will ask board member Pete Hoyt to compile a list of attendees who wish to speak. Do I have a volunteer from the Health Department to serve as a timekeeper during the hearing?
I can do that.
Thank you. After the hearing is closed, the board will decide whether to deliberate and vote tonight or to do so at a subsequent meeting. This regulation is promulgated by the authority granted to the Adams Board of Health by Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 111, Section 31, that, quote, boards of health may make reasonable health regulations. A quorum of us has joined the meeting. May I have a motion to open the hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Sorry.
Any discussion? All right, motion is to open the hearing. Pete Hoyt,
We have a question from Mark.
raising.
Okay,
And the question is,
Comment?
may I?
yes, please.
Okay, so on the agenda, the public notice for the hearing, we have given the public the incorrect password for Zoom attendance by phone.
Is that so?
We have.
It's the 758-2716.
It's actually 2617.
That, all right, so what do we do about that?
So that's point number one. Point number two is that the original agenda had the discussion for the definitions of blunt wraps and cigars ahead of the public hearing. So two matters. One, not all members of the public who want to be heard by phone, if that's their only means to call in or to attend this meeting, aren't able to do so. And then secondly, I think that we should have that discussion as far as updating the definitions for blunt wraps and cigars into any regulation that we're going to adopt. So we should put that out to the public before the public hearing. Those are my comments.
So as far as the blunt wraps, I did send an email saying that I was changing the agenda order and noting that where I was putting the blunt wrap discussion, we are free to move it into the public hearing, which would be fine. I don't know if that's really necessary because blunt wrap ban is not included in the regulations under consideration. So a definition is somewhat moot. But I think the more critical issue is the incorrect password. May I ask Attorney St. John if he has any thoughts on how we proceed if that is indeed the case?
Well, if you have an incorrect password and somehow it's denying access to people, I don't think you have a valid meeting going on as far as complying with the open meeting law requirements, with keeping in mind the exceptions that the governor has allowed through executive order. So my suggestion would be that this meeting be postponed to another date, that you publish a new agenda, that you correct the issues with respect to contact by way of Zoom and by video and Zoom by phone, and that you redo it. I don't want to risk, I mean, I'm already hearing that there's a potential open meeting violation that's going to be brought by somebody. I don't think you ought to risk it.
Well, obviously, that is indeed the case. And with that, I will apologize to all of those who have joined us, but I do agree with Attorney St. John that proceeding would be unfair to anyone who had wanted to. With that, we do need to schedule another hearing. Or may we say August 19? Or should we just postpone 1 week and say August 12?
Twelve would be nice.
Pardon?
12 will be nice.
12? Okay. All right. And meanwhile, I will go back and check my notes as to why that incorrect password leaked in. That's so. Let me just look one more time here. Okay, yeah. So we agree that we will meet August 12. I will immediately get a new agenda out. And Mark, I will ask you for how you want to deal with the blunt wraps so I can put it in the agenda as you see fit. And
Mark
because
has a comment.
Okay, so we'll have to publish in the paper again, so will 1 week be sufficient amount of time? We don't have administrative assistant, so maybe the 19th would be better?
I take your point, yes. So, okay, then let's say the 19th. And we have a motion on the floor. So I would ask that Pete Hoyt withdraw the motion.
Yeah, withdraw the motion.
And we agree to meet on August 19th. I will revise the agenda accordingly and have our administrative assistant publish the notice in the paper. And I will, well, apologies to all of you who did show up. And although they can't hear me, apologies to any who tried to call in. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion, any further discussion?
No.
Pete Hoyt,
Aye.
Laura Grandchamp,
Aye.
Dave Rhodes, aye. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you,
Thank you.
and bye now.
Thank you. Bye.